Hello everybody. Hope you're all okay tonight. But if you're driving alone, you might want to pull over for this one. Tonight's story comes from Jake, a long-haul trucker who swears he picked up something that was never meant to be on this road. If you've ever seen something on the highway that shouldn't be there, send your story to. Now let's begin. Jake had been driving long enough to know the difference between exhaustion and reality. The neon glow of his dashboard flickered as he adjusted the radio, the static whispering through the speakers. Highway 46 was a lonely stretch of road. Too quiet, too empty for a Thursday night. That's when he saw it. A hitchhiker, standing at the edge of the road. Tall, too tall. His had covered his face, and his hands were stuffed deep into his coat pockets. Jake wasn't the type to pick up strangers, but something about the man made his foot press the brake. Maybe it was the way he stood, unmoving, or maybe it was a sign just ahead. Next gas, 60 miles. Jake rolled down the window just enough to shout, "Where you headed?" The hitchhiker didn't move, didn't speak. Then, without stepping forward, without opening the door, he was inside the truck. Jake's breath caught in his throat. His hands clenched the wheel as he glanced at the passenger seat. The man sat there, staring ahead, the hood still hiding his face. The truck smelled wrong now, like burnt wood and wet earth, like something dug up that should have stayed buried. Jake swallowed. "What's your name?" The hitchhiker turned his head too slowly, the hood shifting just enough to reveal nothing. No nose, no mouth, just deep, empty space beneath the shadow. The CB radio crackled. "Jake, you ain't alone in that truck." The voice wasn't his dispatcher. It wasn't anyone he knew. And in the rear view mirror, Jake saw the hitchhiker sitting in the back seat now. Jake slammed the brakes. The truck screeched, tires screaming against the asphalt. He turned, heart pounding, but the passenger seat was empty, breathing hard. He reached for the door handle. He needed air, needed to wake up. Then the whisper came, right behind his ear. "Keep driving." Jake froze. Slowly, he turned to the rear-view mirror. The hitchhiker was there, closer now, his face almost visible, like a half-formed memory. A slow, rotting grin stretched across the void where his mouth should be. Jake hit the gas. Mile after mile, the world outside his windshield blurred into nothing. The GPS glitched, 1 mile to the next gas station, then 2, then 10, then 0. But the gas station never came. The road stretched endlessly, the same flickering streetlight passing over and over again. The hitchhiker's reflection stayed in the mirror, but Jake never heard him move. Then the CB crackled again. "Jake, listen to me. If you're hearing this, you already lost. Don't look behind you." The truck shuddered. The windshield cracked from the inside. A single, bony handprint appeared on the glass. And behind him, something shifted in the seat. Jake screamed, wrenching the wheel, sending the truck veering off the road. Gravel spat, tires skidding, then blackness. When he woke up, daylight filtered through the shattered windshield. He was parked at a gas station, the same gas station he had been trying to reach. His CB radio was dead, his phone battery drained. The truck was empty, but when he checked his dash cam footage, the passenger seat door opened on its own, and a shadowy figure climbed inside. The last frame, a single, rotting face grinning in the rearview mirror, and a whispering voice barely caught in the audio. "See you on the next ride, Jake." So tell me, listeners, have you ever picked up a hitchhiker and felt like something was off? Maybe they didn't speak. Maybe they just disappeared. Maybe they never left. Let me know your stories. And remember, keep your doors locked and don't ever check the back seat. Until next time, stay haunted. So tell me, listeners, have you ever picked up a hitchhiker and felt like something was off? Maybe they didn't speak. Maybe they just disappeared. Maybe they never left. Let me know your stories. And remember, keep your doors locked and don't ever check the back seat. Until next time, stay haunted. Hello, everybody. Hope you're all okay tonight. But before you close the blinds, you might want to hear this story. Tonight's submission comes from Lisa, who recently moved into an old apartment, one that came with an unexpected visitor. If you ever felt like someone was watching you, even when you were alone, send your story now. Let's begin. Lisa had always wanted to live alone. No roommates, no noisy neighbors, just peace in her new one-bedroom apartment on the 9th floor. At first, it was perfect, a small place with a balcony, overlooking the city. At night, the skyline glittered, and she loved watching people in their lit-up apartments. Tiny squares of life stacked on top of each other, until the first time she saw him. A man, standing in her window. She gasped, stumbling back, until she realized he was outside, standing on her 9th floor balcony. But when she blinked, he was gone. Lisa tried to laugh it off. Maybe she was overtired. Maybe it was a weird trick of the city lights. But then it started happening again. Every night, she would catch glimpses of him, a dark shape reflected in the glass, a hand pressed against the outside of the window, a shadow moving when nothing should be there. One night, she tested it. She turned off all the lights, letting the city glow illuminate her apartment. Then she raised her phone, flipped the camera, and faced the window. The balcony was empty. But on her phone screen, a man stood there, staring at her. He had no eyes, just dark, empty sockets where they should have been. The second she turned around, he was gone. Lisa barely slept. Every time she closed her eyes, she saw that eyeless face reflected in the glass. The next morning, she went straight to her landlord. "Do you have security cameras? I think someone keeps getting onto my balcony." The landlord paled. His hands shook as he fumbled with his key ring. "You're in 9B, right?" Lisa nodded. The landlord sighed. "Listen, I probably shouldn't be telling you this, but no one should be able to get onto your balcony. No stairs, no ledges, no way up, and you're not the first tenant to report him." Lisa's skin prickled. "Who is he?" The landlord's voice dropped to a whisper. "They called him the Watcher, and the last girl who saw him," he swallowed. "She jumped right from that balcony, left a note saying he wouldn't stop staring." Lisa tried to ignore it, tried to tell herself that she was stronger than this, until the night she forgot to close the blinds. She was getting ready for bed when she felt it, a presence. The air turned heavy. The room smelled like damp wood and rotting leaves. Slowly, she turned toward the glass. And he was there, not outside this time, inside, standing in the middle of her apartment. His empty socket stared directly into hers. His mouth twisted into something that was almost a smile. Lisa screamed. She grabbed the lamp from her nightstand and swung it straight at him. But the second the light flickered on, he was gone, just a reflection in the glass. Lisa moved out the next morning. She didn't pack. She didn't care about the deposit. She just ran. A week later, she looked up the building online. Apartment 9B had a history. Every tenant reported seeing him. Some jumped, some vanished, and all of them, before they disappeared, left the same message behind. "Don't look at him too long." Lisa shut her laptop, heart racing. It was over. She was safe. Or so she thought, because that night, as she lay in bed in her new apartment, a floorboard creaked, and when she turned toward the window, a dark reflection stared back. So tell me, listeners, have you ever looked out your window and seen something that wasn't supposed to be there? Maybe it was just a shadow. Maybe it was just the wind. Or maybe it was waiting for you to notice. Send me your stories, and remember, keep the curtains closed. Stay haunted.